Hello! Right, this is video 7 in the US, and I messed up the last one. I won't stop me posting it on YouTube, but anyway. So I'm going to go back a little bit. So apologies to those of you who have already seen the 4th of November 1796 entry in the United States bit. But I didn't read it very well, so, you know, bonus. 4th of November 1796. The Treaty of Tripoli, the first treaty between the United States of America and... Correct, Tripoli. to secure commercial shipping rights and protect American ships in the Mediterranean Sea from pirates and loyalist dolphins was signed. 5th of November 1796. The birthday card of Mrs. Isabel Suitcase was signed. 6th of November 1796. Goodness me, I've gone into a Duchess voice. I have no idea why. 6th of November 1796. I can't get it down. I'm just hitting C7 all the time. 6th of November 1796. The plaster cast of Charlie Hammock was signed by all his friends, who wrote on it, "Get well soon," the mean bastards, since he was dead. Run over by a truck carrying "Get well soon" cards to the town of Irony, Indiana. 24th of April 1800. President Adams signed into law an act moving the national capital from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. and the front room of 318 Albemarle Street, New York, to the middle of the Pontiac River. 25th of April 1800. Mr. Bill Cloud, resident of 318 Albemarle Street, New York, comes home from work and drowns. The 3rd of December 1800. The Electoral College casts an equal number of votes for Democratic Republican Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr, 73 each, and no passes. The tie sends them to a runoff election in the House. Unfortunately, the runoff was the two of them in a three-legged race, and so they both tied again, despite a late effort by Jefferson to cross the line first by getting his dodger out. A stalemate existed for a while as supporters of each negotiated the proper way to select the winner. Jefferson's camp wanted a duel, suggesting crabs at 500 paces, whilst Burr's camp wanted to see who can be the highest competition. Although having caught sight of Jefferson's wang in the previous contest, Burr felt that the size of Thomas gave him an unfair advantage. "Oh, there's nothing unfair about it," sighed a contented Mrs. Jefferson wistfully. Eventually all sides settled on a compromise, and an 11-legged race was held, with each contestant tethered to a crab. After 2 days of running around in circles, it was realised that this was not going to get the desired outcome either. How about "Hands up all those who were the principal author of the Declaration of Independence," suggested Jefferson. How about "Hands up all those who were the principal author of 358 ways to bake an apple pie," suggested Burr back. How about "Hands up all those with most hands," suggested one of the crabs, the little opportunist. With time running out to finish this book, both men agreed to an anagram contest of their name. Jefferson came up with Thomas Jefferson, whilst his opponent came up with Rubber Nora R. Although Jefferson's entry was thought to be somewhat less than inspired, Mrs. Nora Randall of Nebraska claimed that she had been rubbed 4,372 times since the contest, including twice the wrong way, and Burr was forced to cede into disgrace. 1st of January 1801, the 19th century begins, except in Alaska where the delivery times are a lot slower. 30th of April 1803, the Louisiana Purchase was signed, and the United States acquired 828,000 square miles of territory from France for a total of 68 million francs, or 15 million USD. The Americans originally sought to purchase only the... I should have put another joke in there really about someone buying some land from Cleethorpes for 3,822 STD. But that would have been mean to Cleethorpes. And I've been mean to Cleethorpes enough in my books. And I have no idea why. I've never been there, and I'm sure it's a really, really nice place. Peterborough, however, Peterborough in Cambridgeshire, England, not the American one, flush it down a toilet and then pour napalm down after it. Oh, getting a bit personal now, aren't we? We don't want any of that. I mean it with love. Where do we get to? The Americans originally sought to purchase only the port city. That's right, we were doing the Louisiana Purchase, weren't we? Yes. Yes, we were. Thank you for reminding me. The Americans originally sought to purchase only the port city of New Orleans and its adjacent coastal lands, but quickly accepted the bargain, Robert R. Livingston advising Jefferson to take it for God's sake before Napoleon sobers up. However, Napoleon was a wily fox and had commissioned a spare Louisiana to be made on the quiet, which he sold to the British, who were well pleased with themselves until Napoleon informed them that, oh non, say not in the US, no, say inlay Antarctic, ha ha, lay ha ha ha. However, the British were wily aardvarks and said, tell you what, old boy, we'll sell you this Louisiana back at half what we paid for it and throw in Cleethorpes too. Napoleon could not resist a bargain and accepted the deal, moving Cleethorpes to the centre of Paris to show off to his subjects. By the end of the first day, property prices had plummeted like a 60-year-old scrotum. You could you could buy 4 Eiffel Towers for a franc. And the French populace begged Napoleon to return Cleethorpes to the British along with their full payment for the Antarctic Louisiana by holding him upside down in a vat of yak shit until he agreed. Both the Americans and the British came out of the episode rubbing their hands with glee, while Napoleon came out of the vat rubbing his head with scented towels. It didn't help. Where did we get to? The 11th of December 1816, Indiana was admitted into the Union as the 19th state after a close-run contest with a jar of salad cream. 14th of February 1833. I'm sorry, I remember writing this bit, so I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. And if you could see a little bit further down, you see I'm getting about 12 inches ahead of myself here. Ladies. Gents as well. Where do we get to? 14th of February 1833. Cedric, a buffalo with no fixed hairstyle, is elected mayor of Drudgeburg, Wyoming, in a tight-run race with Mr. Aristotle Lent, a one-legged shoe mender with a penchant for oral sex. Lent's the cobbler, hobbler and gobbler was his shop sign. Cedric beat Lent by 6... Cedric beat... No, wrong line. Get back to the right line. There are too many Cedrics in this paragraph. Cedric beat Lent by 6 lengths and 3 legs. Notoriously press shy, Cedric gave no press interviews during his decade-long tenure, i.e. a 10-year tenure, ho ho, and he valued his private life so much that his posthumously published diaries consist of 18 volumes of 1,000 blank pages. Some scholars took there to be a hidden meaning in this and studied the diaries intently for over 40 years before arriving at the conclusion that we're all fucking idiots who have wasted our lives. Among Cedric's notable achievements in his first year in office were a reform of the tax laws, the introduction of free school meals, and legislation making it legal to read the subtitles, they'll piece it together without my giggling. Among Cedric's notable achievements in his first year in office were a reform of the tax laws, the introduction of free school meals, and legislation on making it legal to dump a huge one in the middle of the street. The latter led to a long-running litigation battle. There's far too much alliteration in this paragraph by someone with jaw disease. The latter led to a long... So I read it again. I'm a masochist. A game with the lettuce leaf matron. Leave it attached to the lettuce. It's better that way. The latter led to a long-running litigation battle. Drudgeburg versus Smith. When... the latter led to a long-running litigation battle. Drudgeburg versus Smith. When Miss Violet Smith, an 86-year-old spinster and rodeo rider, was charged with violating the law by only managing to drop a small one in the street. No. I ruined the timing of all these just by getting the giggles, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I didn't get to eat dinner last night, she told the sheriff, Bill Grudgebearer. I can't help that, Miss Smith. The law is quite plain. Just like you're a turd. It has to be a huge one to be legal. Otherwise, otherwise it's just an excuse to shit in the street. Can't I add a bit more to it today? I had a big breakfast. Well now, what we be looking at there would be a repeat offence. 2 wrong turds don't make a right. How about we just put it down as a bum pump that went a bit lumpy? This is Cowboy Town, Miss Smith. They live off beans and coffee. Every 5 minutes there's one of those. I'm surely sorry, but I've got the law to uphold. This is a town of good standing, long as you're not standing in a fresh one. The famous human rights lawyer and serial flatulentist, it's a word if I say it is, downwind. Get it? Standing downwind. You stand downwind. I know you got it. Took her case up. The first day in court was magnetic in the absence of electricity. Please stand. Oh, I see. I'd already done the joke. I ruined this by not reading it further ahead. Please stand downwind, said the judge. Why? Because I can't put up with the smell. We all want you to stand downwind of us. Oh, that didn't work at all because I messed it up by being presumptuous of the joke. Oh dear, I was presumptuous on my honeymoon as well, you know. Oh, went off in the church, it did. Yeah, they never let us back. Do you have a ring, Mrs. Murphy, to be? I do, Judge. Isn't it? I put it on his torture. Judge? Well, the judge was a vicar. Our judge would have been better, I tell you. Should have put his black cap on. Do you know what you're getting yourself into? I do, I've already seen it. Oh, what an awful ad-lib. I apologise. I don't apologise at all. Anyway, right, where do we go to? Let's get back to the Cedric bit. I've messed this up so bad, this is going to be an outtake, so I'm just going to finish it for my own personal pleasure. That's a lovely time. That's what my personal pleasure is these days. And I'll do the Cedric bit as a separate video. He says to no one. Who am I talking to now? Right, the legal argument went back and forth for years, sometimes back and forth, until in a dramatic turn of events, Cedric trampled on the district attorney. This became known as the Second Amendment, also known as the "look out for that goddamn angry buffalo" law. Although the case was settled in Miss Smith's favour, she never expressed her gratitude as she had died 3 years previously. The case had deadly ramifications for Cedric as the Fighters Against Regulation Turds, aka FART, movement began in the bowels of the town. Soon this bowel movement had become widespread and the price of toilet paper rocketed. The group became increasingly militant, especially after eating too many eggs, and on the 6th of June 1840, one of its leading activists, Marty Piles, shot at Cedric from point-blank range while he attended the opera. Miraculously, the bullet only grazed Cedric's left flank, although any joy was short-lived, as the next 43 shots will hit their target, making Cedric equally as short-lived. Fatally wounded, he staggered to the edge of his window box, gave a huge bellow from both ends, and fell onto the orchestra pit, tragically flattening 14 members to death, although to accentuate the positive, one of them was the drummer. Oh, musician's joke. Notice all the guitars in the background. You can see them on the camera, but 6 or 7 now. Where did I get to? A day of mourning was held for the gentle groundbreaking and orchestra-breaking herbivore, and as a mark of respect, the townspeople only ate the chewy bits. Marty Piles was hunted across the nation, which was a bit of a waste of time, as he was at home all along. Consumed by guilt, he took his own life, 38 years later. I wasn't that consumed, he told his wife on his deathbed. Unlike Cedric, she replied. Okay, right, that'll do for that bit. I'll come back and do the Cedric bit again.